Watching cartoons separates you from others.
Welcome to another episode of Tool for Cartoons. I am the son of the sun, the awesome godfather, Lord Jesse Samo. I can say my other nicknames because this isn't everything cool. This Tool for Cartoons. And unfortunately, we are without Archie and Gabe again today, but we have a guest. But before we get to him, I want y'all to sign a petition to say, "Free Gabe, bring back Gabe and Archie." And sing "Bind Us Together" when you see them out in public. Because, there's going to be a couple of episodes where you might not see them. But, the sooner they come back, the better for everybody. And we get back to these shows. But nonetheless, the show must go on because not only we have a guest, we have Noah from Game Heads in the building.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Not only is he from Game Heads, I have become a Game Head recently. And
joining the fold.
I'm joining the fold and I'm crashing out. Literally. I went from
Game Head certified.
I went from literally hardly playing games to entering a whole gaming tournament with minimum experience. And y'all gotta pray for me. I'm looking to have a good time. I'm a good sport, and it's all for the love of sport. So, I'm enjoying myself. But,
we'll see at the crash out. We'll see how long the peace stands, because I wish you the best in the tournament.
Yeah.
But for any competitors who are listening who have to face Jussie, if you lose, I have to be the one to put that on record.
Oh, man.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Watching cartoons separates you from others.
So I'm like, that team, when NBA franchise or I think the Detroit Pistons had like 22 losses last year, and no one wanted to be like the record, like who they break their losing streak on. Yeah, but nonetheless, we're here. So Noah, let's dive in back. Let's go all the way back to we like to go back in the past and then come forward to the future because we got to talk about this great tournament coming up at the Fusion Superplex Crash Out. You probably hear, as of this recording, you probably seen the first promo video, the second promo video coming out soon, if you didn't see that yet. But, they wanted me to come a part of it because we was first in the fire, and now we just pressing gas and going fast.
You made it through the inferno, and now you're here.
And if we just going somewhere, we ain't know where we going, but it's just gonna be, a big boom at the end. But Noah, take us back. Like, what really got you into gaming and trying to be like an official, I would say, Bahamian gamer? Would you consider yourself that, or more so, just a facilitator?
Definitely a gamer.
Okay.
Definitely a gamer. If there was this huge bustling scene like there is in America, Japan, South Korea, that kind of thing, I probably would have still got into hosting, but definitely not to the degree, because at heart, I'm a competitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so what was some of like your early influences whenever, I guess, coming up? Because, all of this geek culture stuff is really geek and culture and tech. Was always like, for whatever reason, us living in a third world country frowned upon. Well, I won't even say a third world country. They just think it was just the times in the world where it was like you super into this non-reality fantasy world, and you spending all these hours and stuff like that.
Like when D&D came out and everyone was, they're scared of this. Oh, how could you be doing this as make believe? But now these kind of board games, these adventures.
You play D&D?
Yeah, I play D&D.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even like stuff like that, because like these things seem so super taboo. It's like, but there's only things that Americans do or white people do or whatever the case, stigma or whatever. Or you can't make no money, go get a real job.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's kind of like, for me, I always kind of bring it back to sports because that's really the thing that's approved of.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when it wasn't. But
For sure.
that's really the thing that's approved of right now. But that aspect of play, that aspect of testing yourself, of training, all those things, the positive qualities. And you can get them from, playing ball with your friends, but you can also get them from playing game with your friends. You have to develop those skills. It's good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because, I think everybody has those moments when you was a kid where you would go by, you had mentioned, you didn't have the PS2, but you went by your cousin with the PS2.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go by my cousin with a PS2 a lot. And because they used to have all the different systems, and I used to get each system probably every 5 years, where they would have all at one time. So, late nights into the wee hours in the morning playing whatever game, whether it be Grand Theft Auto or when the first is it San Andreas?
No.
There's a bunch of other games that came out in the mid to early 2000s, whether it was Sega Genesis or the PS2. I remember when Xbox 360 first came out, the original Xbox. There was always moments in time because you was like, I want to get that and then spend time playing whatever my favorite game is on that. So, people always have these experiences, but obviously, due to adulting, they always be like, oh, these childish things, let me put that away.
Put it on the back burner. Maybe once in a blue moon, when they have some free time, they might want to do it. Yeah.
So tell me about starting Game Heads and why y'all felt... Actually, when did Game Heads really start?
So, basically, I... linked up with a friend, and we wanted to kind of start this gaming group down here because we both play games. We're both familiar with esports. I used to go to tournaments abroad, but there wasn't really anything local on that level, at least for us to join. There were obviously some small groups. There were places like The Cage. There were places like Joystick.
We really need to do a documentary on The Cage because I always hear people mention The Cage, and I have never been. And I probably that's probably the time when I was living out of the country, but it was like that heyday. I
mean, when I really started gaming and came back, that's like right a little bit after when The Cage stopped really being open. I mean, whenever I'm like, for instance, at Inferno, as we were talking about it earlier, we had a lot of old heads come out talking about when they used to play at the mall, and then when they used to play on, I think, East Street, there was a place there, another place way back, and I'm just looking at them like, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, because it was...
But great. I wish I knew.
It was at Mall of Monuments. I remember I used to go, my aunt used to have a store in the mall, and me and my brother, we would go inside the mall game room and just been there playing Ninja Turtle. And those Crash games.
Good memories.
And then I remember when they moved to Town Center Mall because there was a whole kids from R.M. Bailey and C.I. Gibson and C.H. Reeves used to skip school and go in the game room. And then they moved it to Town Center, so all GH and AF Ivy students used to skip school and try to go in there. And then it was like, okay, when more home stations became available, people just didn't see a need to go to arcade, even though I still think an arcade has a certain vibe to it, to where it's like, you could have gotten creative. I mean, but I think if people bring back an arcade now and put other things in it, it'll still work. Because technically Fusion have an arcade, but people don't really pay attention.
It was a bit more active before, but I haven't. I mean, I guess they'd be the ones that answer that. Maybe when the kids are free to actually play there, I'm busy working, so maybe that's why I don't see them. But I remember when it was really active. We used to host events there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was I think it was a arcade by across from C.R. Walker one time too. What it's like by the large shoppers, they used to have paintings of different video game characters. So I think I know what some of those people are referring to, but obviously due to people just ain't no money inside it. I remember my Miss Moore used to sell game cartridges because on Robinson Road, I forget what the place was called. But yeah, it was different spots for people to play. It was a little bit new ones, but as soon as
The whole home consoles really got
home
on.
consoles and online gaming really put a nail in a lot of stuff. People couldn't adapt quick enough.
Yeah, I mean if you go to the right places abroad, they still exist, but it's kind of like how vinyls are becoming popular again.
Yeah.
At one point they were the only way, and then we have better ways, but now people are kind of revisiting it. They still have those places where you can go and enjoy that kind of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's still something to them. Like there's some things that only really came out arcade wise. People love to play them, and so they're still kicking, especially in Japan.
Yeah, because I
Especially in
find it
Japan.
fascinating, even like watching Inferno last year, that people, because obviously the concept, I'm new to the concept. Well, not really new, but because being in the space a lot more than how I used to over the last 5 years, seeing the concept of people bring their own remote controls. But I see people elect to have the more arcade-esque
Yeah, the boxes,
controllers.
the fight sticks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
And I was like, okay, I think that's so super cool. Like, hey, yeah, I want a handheld controller. Take me back to the arcade. So,
And it's I mean, the games, when you think about it, the games were made for those kind of arcade sticks. They were everyone who started with them had to play with those sticks, and they can do things that the controller, or they feel different to the controller. So if you're really into it, the majority of these people have these fight sticks. They have them just USB plug in or whatever, and there's always support for them built in, because the fighting game creators, they know a lot of our competitive players who've been doing this for a long time, they need to be able to use those fight sticks. A controller just isn't going to do the job for them.
So let's just talk about that specifically. The importance of a controller. Because I know we can get to the crash of stuff, but we got to dissect it along the way, the different nuances. How important is a good controller? Well, then that's not ridiculous. What?
It's a good
How
question.
important-
Fundamental.
Okay.
Fundamental.
Why exactly? Is it because, everybody has their own rhythm of playing? And
It's not so much the rhythm of playing. It's really what is the way you're comfortable doing the input. So for a lot of these fighting games, not to say anything about other kind of games like FPS, but you need these precise movements that really come from these older arcades. So you got quarter circle movements, half circle, Z movements. You have all kind of crazy things you have to press and do at the same time. And some people are just simply more comfortable or more able to do those on the fight stick. So when you have just a control stick in your hand, like you have a PS4 or PS5 controller, doing that with the control stick is already kind of difficult because of the thumb. Just your thumb is doing the movement. But when you have the fight stick, it's your whole hand. And it gives you that kind of locking motion. I don't know how to explain it without giving you one to hold, but it's much easier for a lot of people. And then you get into the topics of like individual controllers, and I approach this more as a Smash player. So for us, a lot of us use the GameCube controllers from like 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah,
90s.
GameCube.
Yeah. And those controllers famously, they're all made different. So they have stick drift, snapback, all kind of issues. And if you're competing, the higher you get, the higher level you get, the more you realize those small things that didn't really matter to you when you were a kid playing with your friends, they can be the make or break. So you need to get a good controller. You need it. But it's fundamental. I'd say fundamental.
That's good. That's good. See, the more you learn, it's very educational. So, so when did you and Dre and those actually come up to say, okay, we're now going to create an organization called Game Heads? And was it y'all, the BAESF was in existence already, or this happened before it became existence, and then y'all just sort of, made some affiliation along the way?
So the way Gameheads kind of formed was first I was doing my own tournaments beforehand. So like 2017, 2018. Since then, I've been kind of running my own tournaments weekly, bi-weekly. Dre heard about this because we're close friends. And he reached out to me. He said he wanted to do something with esports. We kind of talked through the idea, and then we formed a small group together to like do events, try to do things on a bigger scale. Over that time, trying to do more and do more, we got with Michael from Joystick, not Armagon from BESF.
Okay, yeah.
Michael. There's two Michaels, so I usually go
Joystick.
Michael and then I go Armagon. Joystick,
Yeah.
BESF, and then we also met with Jeffrey from the group called BNL. He focuses more on a lot of like leagues and stuff like that with like schools, high schools, trying to make some kind of organized league circuit kind of thing for esports. So we all brought our kind of different skill sets and came together as game heads, which is why if you see in the logo for game heads, there's like three faces, four faces. Yeah. That's why it's like kind of built together like
like a multi-face. I think it was that figure name. But after changing faces.
Not Autobots, not Decepticons, but we're our own thing. Yeah.
This is some I feel with cultural lores, bro. But
yeah, it's just slipping all our minds.
Yeah.
You know, we all know what it is, and then the cameras start rolling, and it's like, what was it again? Huh? But someone's gonna say it in the comments. Someone's gonna make us look foolish. But so we started 2019-ish, around that area, and we met Armagon while the BESF was still in its kind of planning stage. So I would say technically we're older, but it wasn't too much time between that. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I always say 2017 was sort of like a magical year that we really need to go back and look at, because so many things was created from around that time, like 2015, 2017, that still exists now. And from around people in our generation, because, I started all what I was doing in 2017. I know other people have their genesis between, and other things have their genesis between 2017 and 2019. So obviously, by the time y'all start the pandemic, what happened? How did that I guess affect any future planning?
So we
at
were,
that time,
we were doing some things before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, a lot of things shut down. Obviously, there was online gaming, so we explored that, but it can be difficult to kind of find all the gamers. I think that's probably one of the biggest struggles, because you meet like a community here, a community there, you ask them to come in, and then maybe one person will go like, oh yeah, we've had our own group, we're doing this with 100 people or something like that. Yeah, we'll talk about your event. So trying to get all those people in one place so that we can actually do things like in our Discord, that was really the struggle, or I guess the goal back in those pandemic years when everything was like you couldn't do anything in person. Then we started kicking things back up again, and then we did, like you mentioned, the Island Royale.
Yeah.
We've done like 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them so far. Well, we've done 3 of them at Fusion, and the original one was actually a Fortnite event way back. So I think we did 4 Island Royales, and then now we're doing Crash Out. We did Inferno.
Yeah. So
Post-pandemic.
So take me into like, okay, why? Well, first off, how you get, because I know Fusion, again, something that started, I think Fusion first opened its doors in 2018?
Yes.
Or 2016?
Yeah.
It was earlier, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
again, back to my thing where I say, things was happening between 2015 and 2017, like that stretch of time. And they always, one of their starting visions was to be like this hub for esports. So I think, obviously they didn't start out the gate with that, but it was more so people were waiting in anticipation to see what would esports at Fusion look like. So how did that relationship start to cultivate over the years to where we are right now?
So when we started doing work for our first Island Royale there, second Island Royale in general, we reached out to them to pitch them the idea. And, obviously we didn't have all the numbers because sure, we had done some events beforehand, but nothing to the scale of what we wanted to do besides the first Island Royale. So we were able to secure the space next to Celsius.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of them, and we just said, okay, we need minimally some good internet. Obviously, we need the space. We need some TVs, and we just need the permission to show you what we can do. So we did that the first time. Individual in the community came out to sponsor the pot for the event. We had some good signups. We had some good showing. We ended up coming back again next year to do it again. We were in contact with them the whole time. We did it. It was even more of a success, and that kind of started the talks.
That was the one in 2022, or?
Yeah, that should be the
Okay,
one
so
in
that's the
2020.
first one.
The first one I think was 2022. Yeah. So that's the first one. The second one would have happened after that, because we had two in the same
year,
the same time period. Same
year,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next year was Inferno. So yeah, but I mean, we really just approached them, had an idea. Obviously, they already wanted to do esports beforehand.
Yeah.
So they were honestly kind of excited for the idea. Once we showed them, okay, yeah, we can do this. We have this space. That kind of developed into talks about using the Access 3 Theater, which was kind of built with that kind of esports thing in mind. And that's how you had the first Inferno. Big screen, Street Fighter 6.
Yes, because I really, as a person that was at Inferno, and I was telling people about it, I'm like, bro, they was playing games and you could just watch the gameplay in the front lobby. And I was like, they was like, for real? I'm like, bro, gaming on the movie stream? I'm like, yeah, that's why you need to come to Crash Out. Because it's like, yeah, like when I saw it for myself in person, I'm like, yo, this is my cool. Like,
It's surreal. It's surreal.
Yeah, because you get to see this on this big giant screen, and you get to walk the whole building, and like, yeah, even in the bathroom, you still can see the competitive gameplay. Because when I had Dre and Charisma on last year, they talked about how the Fusion team I went to Evo and saw the experience, what it is to be at like a gaming convention and seeing tournament play and interaction and things like that. And I think that's always important for people to see, so you can have an idea of what you're trying to do and what you should aim for. And then also, when you want to branch out, you already have those seeds planted. So, you know, like when they came with Inferno, I was like, yo, that's a great concept. And it's just like, you know, certain things get tweaked and changed around or whatever. But I think this is a viable option, and I like everybody's direction in, you know, pushing Fusion space as, okay, like not just for the movies, but it's like, okay, you can game here too. And then, you know, just having people more sold on that concept, because, you know, the event was great, but I still don't think people understand the magnitude of where you're going to get to play on one of these big screens. Like, you know.
Speaking of that, you know how the setup works to make that work?
Yeah, that's what we was doing early today.
How does that setup work? Because would the system have to be on the projector upstairs?
No, the systems was downstairs.
Yeah, the system was downstairs.
Inferno.
So basically, I mean, on a technical end, basically, you have the game system. You're running the feed through a capture card, say an Elgato. That goes through. You push it out via HDMI to. They have an adapter and they run like a long Ethernet cable. So it's technically video of Ethernet. That runs all the way up there, and then they put that on the big screen.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That is like, that'd have to be some damn long
cable. Yeah. I mean, HDMI is. You know, we all love HDMI, but for that kind of distance and that kind of length, yeah. I mean, hey, I was really interested and surprised as well. I was like, how are we going to do this?
Yeah, but to take a step, because
you can't feed a stream.
Because the Island Royale, y'all had individual monitors to use. But when I came to Inferno, now I was trying to figure out how do we sustain gameplay plus stream in the same room. And have this on the big screen. Like, what was some of the headaches and ups and downs with figuring that all out, and then getting to the point where we taking this same feed and putting it on all the screens in the movie theater?
So, for at least the big screen, well, okay, let me push it back. So the reason we use the smaller screens for the games is because, especially for fighting games, I mean, it's true for all games, but especially for fighting games, you need to minimize latency. So it has to be on those small screens with that 1-2 millisecond delay, because you need that snappy response, especially for competitors. If you don't, believe you me, you try to run a fighting game event and you have them on a laggy 40-inch screen, you'll never see them again. Never. Yeah. So once that is all good to go, because what's most important at the end of the day is that the players are able to play the game that they signed up for and paid for. Everything really comes after that. Once you run that feed over to the computer, you obviously got it in OBS, you have your layouts, you have all your things on top, recording the score, you have everything they're doing being recorded into the bracket. That feed from the computer goes out into the adapter, Ethernet, runs up, goes on the big screen. Now, Fusion has their own way of having that feed also go to other things in the building. I'm not completely privy to that. I know how they got it on the big screen. The rest is them. Once it does that, once it's also doing that, we're also pushing that footage out to streaming platforms, whether that's YouTube, whether that's Twitch, and then that's how it is. And it's also recorded locally. So you can upload the matches. You have that high quality.
And it's really was one of the things I'm excited for, besides acting like a fool, trying to play this tournament, is to the whole commentary section. Because I think, I did the interview with you.
Yeah.
That was 22 at Island Royale. We popped in. And then I think something happened to someone last year, and I just fill in for probably 30 minutes. We going shooting a breeze, testing, and then coming out, and then Pojo and the rest of them was holding it down. But yeah, I excited for the whole commentary, seeing live reaction, and then you on the screen, and
exactly.
you get the replay or whatever. It is really sports, like just how I would watch a football game or. NFL game, is live reaction, and then obviously you have the color commentator and then someone who giving you the play-by-play, and then facts and history and things like that. So why the name Crash Out? Y'all was listening to a lot of West because listen, I was because some of the creative elements, I think when I was first approached and I heard the name, I was like, I already know about the use different Kendrick Lamar songs or different songs, because I'm okay, everybody was talking about crashing out this, and that's really a topical word right now because it's when you about to crash out, it's all right, I flipping the table and all bets are off. So why that name in particular? Because I can understand Inferno, because you want to replicate, you about to go in this gritty battle zone. And I love that the whole hall was lit red for all the vendors. So I was this is cool. So I was maybe they're going to come back and do Inferno Part 2 or whatever the case may be. But what was thinking behind Crash Show?
So as we were brainstorming this idea, because it's been in the works for a long time, me and my fellow game heads kind of talking about what should we name it, what should we run. Obviously, the previous Island Royales had Smash. The community has always been pretty helpful for us, pretty good to us. No bias. I am a Smash player. I do run those tournaments, but we were just thinking, we want Smash. We want Mario Kart. We want to try to add some more games onto this. Inferno was obviously one main game, about 2-3 side events. We want to go bigger. And I think it was Dre. They'll correct me, I'm sure. But one of the members came and was like, what about the Crash Out? And as soon as you heard the name, you're like, oh yeah. Yeah. Crash Out. Just put that little, the picture they use for Mario Kart where they have Mario just it's perfect. It just works. And, once you hear that name, you just go, yeah. There's nothing really to match it, so.
Yeah, no, but for real, because it's easy sellable. Because I was telling, me and Dre would go back and forth. I would, deliverables, and I'm like, bro, when you want me to post? Because I already got that plan. When I drop my first post, how WhatsApp has the broadcast message. Before I even post sending, it's like, yo, I'm about to crash out. People start calling my phone like, bro, are you okay? This, that, and that. I'm like, no. I see the video here.
Yeah,
I like this. This was a good, because it's like, because the nuance around that terminology, and obviously, for better or for worse, when people hear that, it's like you about to lose your mind. So are you gonna have a mental breakdown? And obviously, with the sensitivity of that, or it just could be something where it's like, okay, enough is enough. So playing around the world and having Smash and Mario Kart go along with it, it's just a perfect pairing. It's selling all kind of people interested. People seeing the things who I even never saw at no gaming event. I want to come, but I scared. I'm like, bro, if you don't get into the tournament, you can play whatever on the side there, bro. Like, or bring your own console or whatever. Like, it's an open environment for you to come and enjoy everything and all the amenities that's going on. So, it ain't tricky like that. But I like how the setup of the tournament isn't just a one-day thing. Yeah. It's it's almost like it was a 2-day tournament, and so it's almost like a convention somewhat. Was that some of the thinking of like, let's just turn this from like a one evening thing to a 2-day event? So where you have like vendors and then maybe expand on to having other things added.
So we want to have people experience that convention tournament experience that you get abroad. Because you go abroad, the vast majority of these events are 2-3 days. For instance, CEO, it's going to happen June in like 2-3 weeks. 3-day event, You start on Friday. Technically, you can pick up things on Thursday, so, they're there. But you start on Friday, and you end Sunday night in the big arena. Evo, 3 days, 2-3 days. All these events really take place over this weekend, and people have to kind of either work that 9 to 5 Monday to Friday thing and then come out, or they have to request for their time off. So that's kind of part of the trade-off. Like if it's one day in the evening, it's like, okay, Sunday I'm off, I've come from church, I'll go to this event. But this 2-day thing is kind of to take it to that next level. Okay, this is what events are supposed to be. We're trying to give you that experience. Come and check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think it works when you get to on just a calmer side and sort of, I guess, build up stamina for hosting these events when you already locking up. It can be multiple days. So now I got to think, how do I keep people engaged for, let's say, 6 to 7 hours per day? So it's like, okay, we having these things, this and that. Obviously, it's at Fusion, so you have certain things built in versus getting a space and then have to add in these things. Which again, the masters don't know, but if they know before, they soon will know. So if you have nothing to do on the 28th and the 29th, we want to see you at Crash Out, Fusion Superplex. Don't worry about gaming or go enter the tournament. Leave it for the crash dummies like me.
I think for anyone who doesn't make top 8, I think I'm gonna refer to them as that, the crash dummies.
So you ain't got a crash out. Leave it to the experts and the wannabe experts who want to play the experts. But you don't have to or if you just want to chill out, relax. Because like I said, last at Inferno, when I wasn't commentating or making content, I was just chilling out, playing the side games, talking to friends, chilling out, going outside. And even at the Island Royales, it was just like hanging out, chill out vibe, hang out from home. And then, when things over, you watching the tournament and enjoying, taking in what you're seeing. So what all we have in store for a Crash Out? Take us through day 1 to day 2.
Okay, sure. I mean, so day 1, we the way we're doing it is 2 main games and then multiple side games. Okay. 2 main games, Mario Kart and Smash. Day one starts. People get there on time, and we start off with Mario Kart. That runs for about half the day, and then at that breaking point around 4 p.m., you're gonna have Smash Ultimate. That's gonna take us to the end of the day. During that time, there's gonna be one, maybe two side events. There's gonna be places for people to play these side games. Maybe practice for Smash, practice for Mario Kart. Maybe play Jamboree and lose some friends. Do all that. 2K, Rocket League, Brawlhalla, whatever they want to do. During this, we're also gonna do the either Brawlhalla or 2K. We're still working out some of the kinks. On that first day, second day will be the other side event. Second day shows people come fresh out of church, Sunday best, looking good for the stream. We're going to have the finals for these things. We're going to whittle down people up to the top 8, maybe top 16, depending. We're going to finish strong. Nice commentary, hopefully by Jesse. But if he's not in the tournament still, I don't want to be the one to, he's enjoying himself, going to all the vendors. I'm over here just working my butt off, and then I go, hey, we need you on commentary. So what do you mean? I'm playing. I'm in winners finals. I'm like, sorry, man. I wasn't familiar with your game. And he's like, yeah, you told me I'm certified crash out. Yeah. But that's really the game plan. Like, come for these side events. Come for the main event. Come to watch. Come to support. There's gonna be vendors. There's gonna be art. There's gonna be all kind of things for you to do. And even if you're one of those 1 in 100 people who don't enjoy any of that, you probably have a family member who really wants to go, or a friend, Support. The prices, Fusion, we just dropped everything. Like flyers, sign up link, money amount. Competitors is $50. It's a big price, but I think it's worth it. And then for spectators, you got like 20 and 30. So for the price of really one movie ticket, you're there for 2 days.
Because that's what I was going to ask. Bring that up. So everybody's going to get their special lanyard and pass for the event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to have their ways to get in. They're going to have their pretty things. I mean, I still have my Inferno one.
Yeah. Because I do a thing with, I collect. Actually, I have, shout out to Taku Noir. They sent me a special, but they gave me the gift box what I ate. But I was featured on their calendar this year. And then the gift box, they gave me a special lanyard. So I have a bunch of lanyards of all the cons. Mm-hmm. I just be collecting.
Same here. You have to. Don't throw your lanyards away, people, please.
Collect them and store them away. I have lanyards, I think. Yeah, I have my lanyards from all the cons I've been to, 23, 24. Actually, no. Yeah, from 23 and 24, just stacked away.
I have my lanyards from like 2016. Yeah. 2017, just looking. I don't know when I'm going to use them. One of our players has found like an interesting way to use his lanyards, but I don't. I maybe when I get on that level.
Use them like how?
So, I won't drop any names, but basically this person's very color coordinated. So, if there's a color of the day, everything's that color. Pretty much everything's that color. And so, they say they're doing blue. They got that Evo lanyard. Evo is that nice blue. Yeah. That's what the fit is. They got that yellow. That CEO lanyard's coming on, and it's clean. It's clean. I don't have that many colors yet, though, so.
Yeah, because I always would say, it's a lot of the thing, collectibles that I have to wear. It's like, I got to figure out how. Because I probably eventually going to, like, put my lanyards, like, in a spot and just put them on a hook and then just keep on hanging lanyards on there. But, you weren't just getting a $20 ticket or a $30 ticket. You getting your lanyard that you could have a token from this event to remember forever. And all the memories be tied to that. As well as the amenities and hanging out with the crew. And when I ain't on the sticks trying to do tricks, I gonna be on the mic. And I don't have nothing to rhyme with that, but I can make up something.
It's going to be all right. That's what you say.
So what are some of the prizes which we see is a big part of $1,000?
Yeah, grand prize, $1,000. I mean, obviously, beyond the $1,000, you have cash going out staggered. Obviously, second's going to make more than third.
Yeah.
So, competitors, please try your best. Then we got some Fusion prizes coming through. Details on that are kind of forthcoming, but it's usually going to be like maybe discounts, maybe free this, so and so. And we're gonna see how other things work out for prizes beyond cash, because cash is king. Cash is cool, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no if I won and I got $1,000. You know, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be sad. But having more to give is can't hurt. Never bad.
like a night.
People don't say no to more.
Like a stay for two at some hotel or a dinner or some excursion or something like that. Or a gift card or something.
But I mean, a night at Applebee's, you know.
Yeah, a night at Applebee's.
You know, free arcade pass for 3 days. You know, you know.
Sliding one and switch to.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? You know, they say to switch to, you're gonna see me like controller in one hand, mic in the other hand, computer in the third hand, just trying to, you know, like trying to get the new Mario Kart world. But no, I mean, the prizes are there, mainly cash, Fusion prizes for different side events or different placements and stuff like that. But when people go to register, as information really fills out, they're gonna see that information actually there. Like, hey, if I'm registered on the StartGG page, what are the prize breakdowns, that kind of thing. Yeah.
For sure. So what are you most excited about going into Crash Out? Because with today, as of this recording, we're still in the month of May, and we're less than 4 weeks away.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So, you know, the countdown is on, everybody getting in their reps. Also, don't forget the next free-for-all is the beginning of next month, the first Saturday.
Yeah. So that's the 7th. You know, I'm pretty sure it's the 7th, but if I'm wrong, let me know. But it's the 7th. It's the 7th, yeah.
Because I think that's that drop in the middle of the holiday.
Yeah, the 6th is a holiday, and then the 9th is a holiday.
Yeah, so you have, during the holiday weekend, pull up to free-for-all. Get your game on 6 to 9,
and they might even beyond.
Yeah, because I was saying because it's the holiday, they might go longer. It might be
just
6
for the
and
community. 10. You know, you've obviously been to some of the free for alls, but you know, people always want to stay longer. So you know, I talk to some people. You know, I put in my work. We're staying longer.
All right,
try to go late into the night.
6 until
the
Fusion want to kick you
until the console gets shut down and you gotta get kicked out.
So like, you know, you have time, you know, stop by a Fusion. But I think that's cool to like on a Saturday night. Hey, let me just stop.
And the price it's free.
Yeah, it's free for all.
Yeah.
And before you go in the movie, you could take your movie.
Exactly.
And go and play whatever game they have there. Or you even select your own games, because we were streaming with Squiddy, a Squiddy stream last week. I watched a move. That was a movie. Because I literally was filming wedding in Old Fort Bay, left there for an hour, come down Mario Kart and Smash Bros, and then gone back to pack up. So you know,
so that explains the rush. I thought you were running from these Mario Kart hands, but you had business.
So you gotta make it happen somehow. So you ain't gotta stay there the whole time, but just peek your head and get some burn right quick, and then you can move on.
It's not just those games. Obviously we have our setups. We have these kind of PlayStation 5s that we're running things on too, but. You want to come out, you want to bring your Xbox, you want to bring your Atari, you want to go old school. You really can bring anything. It's just that space for, even if you're not going to compete at the Crash Show, you don't play those games. Bring the games you play. Bring the people you like to play with. With Fusion, the mural with them gaming is right there.
Yes.
Bring your movie to see a movie, and while you wait, Crash out.
Yeah.
Play some games.
It could all be that simple. Instead of crashing out in real life, you could just come to the event.
Yeah.
Simple, just like that. And then, take out all your worries, your stress.
Just not on the controller. Just
don't.
Yeah.
And not on the TVs either.
Yeah, listen, you can crash out, but the crash out we're promoting is in-game, and it's skill-based.
Yeah.
And it's about the way the game wants you to win. Sure, you could win by throwing a controller at someone, but no, let's not do that. Let's not do that, No.
Or no rage quitting either.
I'll let a rage quit slide. We had someone come out and they were mad.
I think
No, I have to tell the story.
Yeah.
We have some. So we're doing the free for all. One of the consoles is free because some people had left. Some kids come over to play. Obviously, they're waiting on the movie. Their parents are there. And one of them is just talking a big game, like, bro, why are you even trying to play me? You're not going to beat me. He's like, shut up. I got this. They start playing. Kid gets destroyed.
Scrub.
And he just gets up. He holds the controller. He's like, and I'm just like, hey. Don't crash out on the controller. He's like, puts the controller down. You're not good. And then the guy's just laughing. He's like, let's play another one. By the time this thing ended, the boy crashed out maybe 3-4 times. Every time I just told him put the controller down first and move away from the TV. But if you want to rage quit that way, put the controller down, but we're on TV. Hey, looks good on the stream. That's all I gotta tell you. You're on camera. As long as you're okay with it, we're okay with it too. Run up the stairs at Fusion if you need to get the energy out. Yeah.
So, what is your message to all competitors, all patrons, all casual fans, those people who on the fringes who see Crash Show, but they ain't sure because it's always those set of people like, yeah, I see it, but I know.
Yeah,
What you want to say to them?
Wow, $20. The price you're paying for the experience you're gonna have. For the time you're getting, for the first of its kind event, I think it just makes sense. If there's any kind of collector spirit in you, competitor spirit in you, you like to hang out with your friends, any of that, it's worth it. You might not want to compete for the big bucks. Maybe your boy's going and he really is no life the game, and you're like, I'm not gonna beat him. It don't make no sense. I understand it. I may have my, I'm always going to compete. Last place, at least I placed. That's the way I look at it. But if you don't want to compete, come out, support. And you don't have to come for both days. I know some people, they were talking to us last time at Inferno. Yeah, I really want to come, but I can't make Sunday. Well, some of those people, they weren't going to make it to the Sunday bracket. But even just coming to Saturday, they're going to have a good time. And every single one who did told me they loved it and they want to come back. So if you can work something out at your job, if you could just come on a Saturday, come on a Sunday, I think it's more than worth it. Support your family too. Support your friends. If you know someone in your family, like we have some older people, they never played games, but they know, oh, my niece loves to play, my nephew loves to play. Tell them about the event. Show up with them. See what it is they're having so much fun with. And come out to this thing in Fusion that's really going to be an experience like no other. Come out and see everyone, come and see. Don't crash out outside of the game though.
Yeah, just if you need to scream, Fusion is on a hill over a lake.
You
either be on top of the hill over there, or you could go by the lake and scream.
Yeah,
and ain't nobody can hear
right
you.
past Celsius, right onto the balcony.
Yeah.
Right.
Just take a deep breath. Let it out.
Yeah.
No explicit, no curse words or nothing. Just volume outwards.
Or you could go in the Total World, what they have in the parking lot.
Yeah, there you go.
So
the little attraction they have where you keep spinning. Yeah. Go there and just let it out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But no, this has been a pleasure having you on this pod before we embark on this grand journey. We 4 weeks, well, little less than 4 weeks. Is this the?
It's because it's June. It's June 28th, and we are what?
So we have
24,
4
so
or 5 weeks.
4
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So we like a month away.
Enough time for everyone to register.
Yeah.
That's what I
So don't forget to register. It's on the flyer. We have.
Give them dates on if registration closing at a certain time.
Yes. So registration is closing at a certain time. It's closing the day before. So, I mean, if you want to be the one who likes to play things to the edge and, midnight, you're trying to log into the website and it's not loading, and then you're coming to me, oh, I was trying to register. You have time. 4 weeks, you have time. But it's closing the day before. You go straight to the Fusion Superplex website. I think it's fusionsuperplex.co, not .com, but .co. You go to the Escape tab. They have an events page. You just click right on the flyer. It'll take you to the link for you to pay for your ticket, depending on if you're a competitor, We have discounts for students, whether you're just a spectator, discount for students. And then from there, you go to the registration page for the tournament. Now, you should only register for the tournament if you're going to compete. I feel like I should say this. Some people may buy the spectator thing and then see it and try to register. We're gonna double check to make sure you paid the competitor price. But I mean, hey, if you want to go through the experience, I think it's worth it at least once to try register for an event. But it does close that Friday.
Right, and registration is only through the website, or you could go to like the.
So there's two websites. You go through the Fusion one, fusionsuperplex.co. You'll pay for your ticket there, and then that will direct you to the tournament page, which is on it's start.gg /crashout. Crashout, one word. And from there, you'll be able to actually register for the individual events you want. That list of people who register gets checked against each other to make sure that spectators aren't trying to sneak in, and someone who just found a link is like, hey, I'm a register, but I didn't pay for no ticket. You're just gonna get booted out. But yeah, that's how the process goes.
Participants or?
There is a cap, but if we reach the cap's kind of high. If we reach the cap will get extended. It's more so just for logistics that the cap is there. But okay, I'm not gonna say we're not gonna reach the cap. I would love us to break the cap, and I'm sure there's some like 2K heads, Mario Kart heads who are just gonna come and prove me wrong. But if you do try to register, and for some reason it's like, oh, the max attendees, try again the next day. It'll be open again.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty fair cap. So
Yeah. It's perfectly fine, yeah.
And don't forget the monthlies, the MBH Smash, the Arena Attack. When was the next one?
So for the Arena Attack, we're looking at June 8th for the next one.
So also on
the tournament.
Also on the holiday weekend, June 8th is the Sunday.
Yeah, day right after.
So after the free for all Saturday, you have the monthlies on June 8th. Log in. Before that, if you're on Discord, you get is it connect or subscribe to the channel?
It's connected to the channel.
You can connect to Gamehead's channel, connect to their server, and then you have actually I think you have to register for that too as well.
For the online event Arena Attack, it's Smash Bros Ultimate event. When you register for that, if you try to go just to the tournament page, it's actually going to tell you, well, in order for this to run, we need you in the Discord so we can contact you and join the community. So it's going to check that you're in the Discord. Once you're in that Discord, very easy process to join, simple link, simple registration. You can get it done in like 2 minutes, 5 minutes max. Once you're in there, checks that, you're in the event. Free to enter. There's no cash prize for the monthlies yet. But there's no cash prize for the monthlies. And, you get to play against people from all around the world. Last event alone, we had Mexican people. We had people from Scotland, U.S., other places in the Caribbean. It's online really is the best way to try to connect with people. And to play online, yeah. The competition's rough, but once again, not getting first is not a big problem. It's not an issue. When you play soccer, chances are you wouldn't beat Messi.
Right.
That's not going to stop you from playing soccer. You love the game.
Right.
Exactly. And right after, even if you lose because of the format, you have to lose twice to get out of these tournaments. Even if you lose, the people are right there in the Discord for you to play again with them. But it's starting at 3 p.m. Please register before Sunday if you want to come. You can reach out to me when you join a Discord. You can reach out to me. I'm Fraudfish on the Discord. Ask me any questions. Request anything you want and say, oh man, Smash. I play a little, but I really want to play this game or this game.
You ever think
do it.
There would be a possibility to have games such as I'm surprised I haven't seen a Marvel's Rivals tournament yet.
Yeah, so that's actually good thought process. That's actually in the works. So we did a Marvel Monday previously. It was great. A lot of people loved it. We're kind of in the works right now, trying to be like, okay, how can we come back bigger and better? Because everyone's playing Marvel Rivals now.
Yeah.
So on Mondays, you're gonna be able to come in a Discord. It's gonna be people running scrims and stuff like that, just casuals training. And then later on in June, we're planning to do a bigger online Marvel Rivals gathering competition. Just look out for that. Flyers will be sent out. We'll talk about it in the Discord. Talk about it in the WhatsApp community channel. Best ways to find out, or you can follow us on social media, GameHeads International. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I played it for the first time recently. I lost.
Yeah, because I've been trying to play
fun.
tinker with it a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I played Moon Knight, and some people were, like, yeah, it's good to see you play, it's good to see you. And other people who weren't friends with me were like, wow, Moon Knight? Just go play Teemu and League. Like what are you doing? Like not that bad, but what are you doing, man? Why you being this guy? I'm like, hey, I'm level 1, level 2. Let me breathe,
Yeah. Because they expect you to unlock all the high-tech characters.
Yeah, and they think this character's so annoying. Like, so I'm just gonna
But
play
what
Doctor
if you like
Strange next
Moon
time.
Knight?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like playing some of the top tiers in the fighting games, like you playing like Steve or something. It's like, I like Minecraft.
Right.
Let me play.
For sure. But thanks again, Noah, for coming on for 204 Cartoons. It's been a pleasure. Tell the people where they can find everything, Gameheads, Fusion, all the different social media handles and things like that.
Yeah, no problem. So on pretty much every social media, we're Gameheads, INTL, Gameheads International. You'll see the logo. Once again, the name of the character is escaping me. I'm going to get clown for this.
He's almost for the multi.
Yeah, the multi.
Man,
we need
they
to
use it a
search
lot
this
in
up.
fiction, right?
No,
It can't,
no.
like-
Hold on. Yeah,
Right.
we
Like,
I
is it
want to
still
search it up,
slippery?
but I feel I know I'm too embarrassed.
Because I
Yeah.
remember, hold on, no.
I feel it right here on the tip of my
I feel
tongue.
like it was like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, something like that. Then I know
No.
it's
It's like the roll. Oh my goodness.
And the only thing I keep thinking of, which I know it ain't it, because I know it's the next one we thinking about. I'm thinking about Cerebus, but it ain't Cerebus.
it ain't a
Yeah.
service.
Cerebus, but I think
No.
Every time I try to say it,
Cerberus is the
Voltron-
demon hell dog.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Cerebus. I'm thinking Voltron. I'm like, no, wait, hold on. Like,
Right.
Faced.
anyway,
Yeah.
y'all clown me in the comments.
Yeah, just
I know my team's gonna do it too, so it's fine. But Gameheads International, pretty much every social media. We got Instagram, we got the Facebook. If you want to see us on, go to Twitter. I also have MVH Smash, as you mentioned before, one of the groups under Gameheads. I'm doing the Arena Attack Online. I also have a Twitter MVH Smash, just NBH Smash. You can find me there. And then come join us. WhatsApp, just Discord. Not an easy way to spell out those long links, but we can post something in the description and you can just click and join.
Just follow them on social media, ask a question in the messenger box, and then
we'll give it to you then. We'll give it to you then.
Well, this has been great, and another great episode on 204 Cartoons. So, June 28th and 29th, come support your boy. No, if you don't even have to love the awesome Godfather. If you just support Luigi, we just trying to upgrade from
Luigi's the
player
character?
Yeah.
Okay. I mess with it.
If you just support Luigi, just come out, share on, and then, we can make different content and stuff and have a bunch of fun later.
That's good.
But thank Noah again. Thank the whole GameHeads team. And then, when you see Noah, hopefully we get an episode in when Dre, well, obviously we can get an episode when Dre gets here. But until then, we can see y'all at Crash Out.
And Dre will let y'all know exactly who I forgot. Make that the first question.
Oh, man. See y'all later.
Yeah, see ya.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Watching cartoons separates you from others.